I make plenty of bad decisions, but living life as the race that can't read isn't one of them. Surviving the game as a barbarian follows a sick guy who plays a super hard video game for half his life, only to get sucked into the game the second he finally reaches the boss room. Now, this sounds normal, but when I say super hard, I mean it didn't take him half his life to almost beat just because he was an idiot. This game is impossible. Permanent death, no grinding, everything's stronger than you are, the NPCs are trying to rip you off or betray you, every class has more cons than pros. This is the video game I'd give to my kids to convince them they don't want video games. It had to have been made by some heartless waste of oxygen who never got any love from his parents, and that's the place our MC Bjorn ends up. I think you're gonna want to give this one a read because honestly it's pretty fun and entertaining. The lore is super interesting because it turns out in this world people from the other world are sort of known. There are books and procedures where certain people who start saying things that don't make sense suddenly, like in the MC's case where he occupies the body of someone who existed before. Most of them are unable to keep their cool and say things that, they shouldn't. They get revealed, they get beheaded instantly. It happens to a guy next to him. Turns out he was not the only guy from the other world in the crowd. So it's going to be hard to find other Earthlings here. I also love how exciting it is, because bro fights for his dear life just to get by and survive, which you might expect when survive is in the title, but these days titles let you down. When I said there was no grinding, I meant it, because no matter what you kill, you only get XP the first time you kill it, and on the first floor everything only gives you 1 XP. And speaking of the first floor, the first time he ends up going into the dungeon equivalent place of this world, the labyrinth. Yes, the labyrinth. I don't know why I didn't just say that. He spawns in a super dangerous place, gets stuck in a trap instantly, and almost bleeds to death as he crawls for hours and hours to barely survive until he can find people who help him because he was lucky. And that's just the kind of world this is, the kind of world where instead of a starting weapon, he picked a shield because after all his years playing this stupid game, he knows the only way to survive is to focus on not dying instead of trying to win. And when someone starts out with a shield as their weapon, you know that it's not gonna be a very fun game. Nothing is given to him, everything is earned, and those are the kind of stories I love as someone who has told stories before and loves to torture all the people involved for entertainment. Whether it's mine, whether it's the other people's, I don't know, but there is entertainment when people are tortured. I cannot speak today, I've recorded too many videos. So next, art and fights look good. I love the coloration. I love the way everything like glows, everything's clear to see. It's not the most, the character art, like the people themselves, I'll admit at times is not the most stunning, but I just like the general vibe and ambience they're able to set with art that seems unique to this one world. And I'll have to admit, when it comes to the characters, I'm not sold yet on some of the airheads filling up the cast, cause man, these people are all stupid. Maybe he's been wizened up because he came from Earth and was playing this as a game for a while, so he knows all of the most effective tactics available, but good lord, if this is their actual life they've been born into from day one, they should not be as dumb as they are. Like, I'm fine with one character being on the screen, that's Einar, who's probably the dumbest of them all. I'm just guessing that's her name. I should really start checking these things. Yeah, Einar is the one person I'm fine with being on the screen, but it makes sense for her to be dumb because she's an actual barbarian and they are canonically very stupid. Speaking of which, he really chose the worst class. Like, even though in a video game it might be fine to try thug it out with a barbarian because they have a good chance of not being one shot at the very beginning, In real life, when it's the race that can't read, is stupid, and everyone discriminates against, so you can't even get a job, it's just very hard to get by and live. So he has to rely on trying to make connections, make allies, make friends to get by in the city in his time outside of the labyrinth. And through the early phases of the story, I've been quite satisfied with everything it's shown me, and I think a lot of you, whether you are enjoyers of isekai or not, will be able to appreciate what goes on here. So go give it a read, and that's going to be day whatever this was of Webtoon Week. I think day 2. Let's hope I manage to get all the videos up. They honestly probably will not be edited because I have like 15 hours. Goodbye.